People spend 40 years building wealth, only to hit age 65 and slam on the brakes right when compounding is finally ready to do its best work. It's one of the biggest mathematical mistakes in modern personal finance. We're trained to believe retirement is the finish line. Stop saving, start withdrawing, and hope the money lasts. But if you understand how compounding actually behaves, you realize something uncomfortable. Most people quit at the very moment the real growth is just beginning. Compounding is simple math. You put money in, it grows. Then the growth grows. And then the growth on the growth keeps multiplying. It's not magic, it's multiplication. But the strange part is where the big results show up. The first 10 years feel slow. The next 10 get mildly interesting. The third decade finally shows momentum. But the fourth and fifth decades? That's where the numbers become unbelievable. And that's exactly when most people stop. They retire and begin spending down what took them a lifetime to build. It's like nurturing an oak tree for 40 years and cutting it down the week before it reaches full height. Here's the part no one talks about. If you live to 85, 90, even 95, which is more common than ever, you still have 20 or 30 years of potential compounding ahead. That's longer than some entire working careers. So when you stop at 65, what you're really saying is that the next 20 or 30 years of growth don't matter. And mathematically, that's just wrong. The confusion comes from how people think about money. They see saving as a temporary burden. Work hard, be disciplined, then finally stop caring about discipline once they retire. But saving was never the burden. Saving was the tool you used to buy freedom. And once you've bought freedom, why dismantle the very system that created it? Wealthy, intelligent investors don't interrupt processes that work. They don't walk away from compounding. They don't quit discipline. They keep going because independence, not retirement, is the real goal. That there's a simple strategy almost nobody follows. Sit still. Buy quality investments. Keep adding when you can, stop tinkering, and let time do the heavy lifting. The big money isn't in buying or selling. The big money is in waiting. But most people can't wait. They get bored. They panic when the market drops. They chase whatever investment did well last year. They confuse activity with progress. Meanwhile, the patient investor quietly compounds their way past everyone else. This becomes especially important after 65. If you've spent decades living below your means, you don't suddenly stop. If frugality becomes a habit, it stops feeling like sacrifice. It becomes preference. You don't want to burn money on things that lose value immediately, because in your mind, today's dollar is tomorrow's $10. The people who truly understand compounding never reach a point in life where discipline becomes optional. They keep practicing the same habits at 90 that worked at 30. A helpful mindset here is inversion, thinking in reverse. Instead of asking how to succeed in retirement, ask what guarantees failure. Overspending, interrupting compounding, reacting emotionally to market drops, chasing yield, taking on debt late in life, making decisions because a broker or advisor benefits from them, believing you can time the market. Do the opposite of these things, and you're already ahead of most people. Point one of the quietest killers of retirement wealth is consumption. The moment people retire, they often start withdrawing money for cars, renovations, vacations, things that depreciate instantly. But every dollar you pull out isn't just $1. It's all the future dollars that dollar would have become. And over 20 or 30 years, that difference becomes generational. People also sabotage themselves with housing. They retire, build a big fancy home, and tell themselves they've earned it. But the truth is, most luxury homes create more stress than joy. The money gets trapped in an illiquid asset that produces nothing and demands endless maintenance. Meanwhile, the people who maintain real financial independence, they often live in modest homes they bought decades ago, not because they can't upgrade, but because they know every dollar tied up in a house is a dollar that isn't compounding. Longevity makes these differences explode. If you retire at 65 expecting to live to 80, but you actually live to 90, your plan collapses. But if you retire at 65, keep building, keep compounding, and live to 90, those extra 25 years supercharge everything. This is why discipline matters more than starting point. After 65, your wealth depends on three things: how much you start with, how long you live, and how you behave. You can't control the first two, but you control your behavior completely. And behavior compounds just like money does. The truth is simple. Spend less than you make, keep saving something, avoid catastrophic mistakes, and never interrupt compounding unnecessarily. Age doesn't change these rules. Intelligence doesn't retire. Discipline doesn't retire. Compounding doesn't retire. And if you keep applying the principles that worked in your 30s, your 70s and 80s can become some of the most powerful wealth-building years of your entire life. If you found this perspective valuable, make sure to subscribe for more clear, practical finance insights. Your future self will thank you.